collection, she is an inspiration for all of us. She is an Emmy Award-winning television show host, entrepreneur, the author of 90 best-selling books on cooking, entertaining, gardening, weddings, decorating, and so much more. Inspired by Martha's favorite things, the Martha Stewart collection, available exclusively at Macy's, encompasses a broad range of home goods, including dinnerware, barware, kitchen tools, decorative accessories, fine linens, and more.
I want to also introduce Kevin Sharkey, my co-author. No, the earliest.
The earliest. Well, your garden pictures are really old, so 94?
Yeah, so we've been working since 1994. The books don't just happen like overnight. Some of the cookbooks we can work on, and it takes a year or two to write a cookbook, like our slow cooker book or our the new pressure cooker book, which is coming out in a couple months. We're very excited about that. But a book like this, because you have to buy the property where you can grow the flowers. Then you have to make the garden, then you have to plant the flowers, grow them and plant them. Then you have to find a Kevin Sharkey to come and cut them and arrange them. And my joy is really in planting and growing the flowers and making the properties look really beautiful. And Kevin, and I don't like so much going out to cut the flowers, do I?
No.
I don't. I'm not a flower cutter because I like them in the garden. And the only people I allow to cut the flowers, my daughter Alexis and Kevin. Those are the only two people allowed to cut, because I know they're not going to ruin the look of the place, because every flower is like strategically placed. Yeah. But I have 3 gardens, and I've been working on these gardens for quite a long time, and some of the pictures in the book are actually from my 4th and first big garden, which was in Westport, Connecticut, called Turkey Hill, where much of our inspiration evolved. Mention one thing: when you grow your own flowers, generally, and people say, "Oh, your arrangements are so luscious; they're so full of flowers. They're not the skimpy, like anemic. We call it anemic." The trend now is flower one of this flower, one of that flower. They're very beautiful, but they're not our style. Yeah, Constance Spry, who was a great English flower arranger. But ours are much more opulent, because when you grow your flowers, you have more flowers. So I encourage all of you to get a plot of land someplace. Go to New Jersey and buy some land, or Fairfield, Connecticut is really cheap right now.
Plant a bush.
Yeah.
Plant a bush and plant a tree.
Okay,
so anyway, the end, we'll start with the Icelandic poppies. So each one of these plants, flowers, is conditioned in a specific way. So the first one, the Icelandic poppies, now they might look like they're drooping or dying in that arrangement, but that's actually the pattern, the sort of the shape of the stem. So what Martha's going to do is you give it a fresh cut, and then you have to cauterize it. So Martha, do you want to explain cauterizing?
Just like if you get your leg cut off accidentally.
You know when that happens?
You have to cauterize to stop the bleeding. They put a burning wall on your leg. It's so cruel, but it works. It's horrible in the movies. But so this is cauterizing. I am using the flame to actually burn the end, the cut end. It's very wet. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's back. Okay. So I'm actually sealing in the moisture in the stem.
So you would do this with any kind of flower that gives you sort of a milky satisfaction.
My pet peeve for most flower arrangements is when you get one, if somebody sends you some nice flowers, make sure you fill it up within a quarter of an inch of the top of the container. That way your flowers are going to last a lot longer. And then I change the water every day if I'm around.
Depending on the arrangement, you can do that. But you have a good thing where you just put some ice cubes in an arrangement, in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
But Skylands, the first thing I have to do is get the watering can and hit all the arrangements, because they really do.
We have another Facebook Live question.
Yes.
Timothy wants to know, when creating a mixed flower arrangement, how important is symmetry in the design?
If you like symmetry, it's very important. If you don't care one iota about symmetry, it's not at all important.
It tends.
It's personal taste, totally.
But it also, I think I started out, everything had to be symmetrical, but I find that it kind of ends up looking static and very staged. So I like something that's a little bit loose. All the arrangements in the book, none of them are sort of perfect because I just don't like that look. But it takes, you have to get comfortable with arranging flowers to sort of be okay with things not being 100%. I find that people who are sort of starting out tend to go the symmetry route, which makes sense, I understand.